Why are sanitary pads are not part of uniform?
Oh, interesting question.
Yes. Why? Because a girl spends how many sanitary pads in a month? It's a set.
Yeah,
right? How much is a set? Election reforms. Do you understand? We really want to make sure our rights as diasporians, everybody is participating. You understand? Like it's the same way that you have a right in this country to vote. You're going to walk to Nairobi school or wherever and just cast your vote. The same way that we want to change that so we can have that proximity to come to where we stay, where we reside, and be able to have our elections so we can choose our own leaders. Because each and every single time that we students are opening school, girls are given pads. Okay. That's my mantra. And we're going to come up with the way that we're going to, because I'm a digital marketing and branding, I know how we squeeze that in to make sure it's going to fit in our constitution. It's going to be the first constituency ever to have the girl child. That's part of the uniform.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Diaspora Spotlight. This is the Kenya Diaspora Media. My name is Maria Njoroge and I have been your host throughout the highlights and throughout this day as we've talked about Kenyans who've come back from the various parts of the globe, what they're up to and what they're doing in Kenya today. And with me, I have Wycliffe Mobeck, who's a Kenyan. He's been away for quite some time, but he is no stranger to Kenya and the issues that are affecting us as Kenyans. One of the descriptions that have been given about him is that he's bold and he does not shy away from any particular issue. So I do look forward to having an interesting, insightful and exciting conversation with you. I've already said your name, but I would like you to tell our viewers and Kenyans who you actually are and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Mobeck Wycliffe Mogaka. Yeah, you forgot to mention my last name, which is very important actually. I'm a long-standing member for the Diaspora. I live in Kansas City, Kansas. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for a long time now. I've been in the Diaspora for about 11 years. 11 years? Yeah. Okay. And I've moved back to Kenya, fortunately enough, after a long stay in the United States.
Oh, so you're a returnee?
Yeah, I'm a returnee actually.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm so happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to give back to my community, by and large. After doing the diaspora representation for the longest time, trying to do diaspora reforms, get everything together, welfare and all that, it's just been a very joyful journey actually, pretty much. So, but I think right now, being back here, I still represent the diaspora because I cannot detach myself from the diaspora. Yes.
So for the last 10 years, what have you been up to in terms of diaspora? Like the activities that you've been doing as a person?
Oh my God, the list is long. I don't know, you really have to specify because I cannot give
I know that you're a leader.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I've been in the diaspora leadership actually. I started with the Diaspora Youth Caucus, trying to see if we can at least help the youth to go to the diaspora. We got ourselves to the point where by now I was tired of taking our brains out of the country. So we started now taking people from the diaspora back to the country. So the ones who have already stayed there and they don't have anything else to do there, they want to come back here. This is our home. Return what you took. Yes, that's the whole ordeal. And again, I've been in different groups and organizations and all that. But right now, the group that I'm in, which is not actually a group, is a Diaspora Technical Working Group, whereby we're doing actual election reforms and the presentation of the diaspora by and large in the whole scope, all organizations under us. This is the most successful thing that we've ever had so far. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I know that you're currently in Kenya because of that technical working group. Is that something that you can speak to? You've only mentioned that they're doing election reforms. Can we do a bit about specifics?
Yes. Actually, this has been a journey. Mm-hmm. And this journey started like about 2 years ago. Actually coming together as the Diaspora Technical Working Group just came together 2 years ago. Started like a group of 5 people. Danson Mukile, Dr. Martin Koyabe, Masika Manja, and I can't list everyone else, but just such a big group that it just developed all the way to the farthest that we've come today. And it was just an ideology because, after failing so many times with the diaspora groupings, trying to see on how we can find a way that is going to dissect through and is going to cover the diaspora by and large and the entire representation, we only successfully came up with this because it's actually pretty much like a volunteer. Because people are here volunteering, spending their millions to come over here in the country to do something which is a job that no one is paying them. It's more of the passion of the country and all that. So the diaspora, by and large, what we're going to do is we're trying to change the way we are looked at the diaspora. Because the diaspora, we just know it because of the remittances and all that. And that's why I use everywhere that I've gone is just clobbering the government, trying to change the mindset on how they look at us, that money, they look at us like Kenyans who are outside the country and who are looking forward to be a part of this community. When they make wrong decisions over here, we want to be a part of the wrong making decision. Maybe we try to find solutions together. So we don't want to be left out in any way or the other. So by that, the only things that happen is we've just come to realize there are things which are missing out. By us making several trips, coming here looking for all that, like our rights to be heard, our voices to be heard and all that, we just come to realize that we really need to vote. The voting. So we started working on the election reforms, and then we're just now working on how we can have representation in the diaspora. So it's just a work in progress that we've really done such an amazing job. Still, we have bills in the parliament, we have policies in place. We just came up with a diaspora policy which is very successful, and pretty much that's where we've gotten right now. And the process keeps on going and going. Today we were at the finance, the State Department for Finance and economic planning. We want to find ourselves in there so we know what exactly that is happening. When it comes to planning, we are part of the team. So our business won't be like, we can never give you the money, but we're not part of the planning. So it doesn't make sense, you understand? So that's why we're trying to see if we can at least somewhere, let's be like amicus curiae, if you understand what I mean by that. Amicus curiae, like we want to be the friend of the government. And literally, we're gonna make those baby steps to find ourselves in elective positions because we want our own people to be represented by the diasporians. You understand? So that people can easily understand where we come from as a diaspora. You understand? Yes, so that's why we are here today. We're making all those steps. That's why the number keeps adding up from the previous time. And then it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay. Yeah. The one thing that I have noticed today, there has been that conversation about remittances, right. And there's also been a conversation that the diaspora can do more. Mm-hmm. Following on that angle, you're going to meet His Excellency, the President of Kenya, yes, say right. Within the course of your visit. Mm-hmm. What is the one thing that you're hoping that he actually listens and implements from this visit? Because there has to be value for your money.
The President is not the one who's going to implement anything. Okay. The President is one of the stakeholders in this as a political champion. You understand? So at the same time, is the head of state and head of government. You understand? So all these bills at the end of the day, even him, we want to make sure that he understands that this is what we are going through and this is what we really want. You understand? So for him to give us a hand and a back into it is going to benefit by and large, you see? Just like any other stakeholders, just like Rigathi Gachagua, like Wamalwa, Eugene, like Martha Karua and everyone else. It's just a politician like another person. But he has an upper hand as a president and is one person. And again, let's just give this man credit that whatever that he has. We can beat him all down. He's the first president ever to create the diaspora, State Department for the Diaspora, which has been very, very lucrative to us as the diasporians. So what we are saying here is, at least he's going to have an upper hand about like, this is what you've done, to see the progress on how we've worked on. We show him like we've gone through all these stakeholders, the challenges that we've been having, we've gone into as far as to go to the State Department for Finance and Economic Planning. So, it's such a diverse and open conversation that we want to extend to the President so that even him can give us the back when it comes to election reforms and passing of these bills that are coming through the Parliament. Yeah.
I've noticed that you've done this when you talked about profitability of the diaspora. Was that intentional? You said very profitable. Of
course, absolutely. The President is going to benefit out of it. It's very intentional. I don't hide anything, unfortunately. The President is a stakeholder in this thing. And it depends on how you handle us, okay? There are some, this diaspora technical work, not everyone else is interested in the President. Or we only have one agenda. Election reforms. Do you understand? We really want to make sure our rights as diasporians, there, everybody is participating. You understand? Like the same way that you have a right in this country to vote. You're going to walk to Nairobi school or whatever and just cast your vote. The same way that we want to change that so we can have that proximity to come to where we stay, where we reside, and be able to have our elections so we can choose our own leaders. And then from there, progressively, we're going to make some steps on how we can have elective seats. But we have to follow the Constitution. So it's a constitutional process. You understand?
I know there is a lot in the Constitution that has to change for this to actually be accommodated as a policy. So we will go back to this conversation about voting rights because it's one of those things that you're championing. Yeah. But you've mentioned that you're diaspora returnees. It's been 10 years. I've seen people go for 20, 30, some maybe 40 before they decide to come back.
If I say something, they're going to fight me. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm one person who's so much focused on what I do. So I don't just get myself stuck in one thing forever. You understand? So I just want to, I'm very progressive. Once I go somewhere, I have an agenda for what I'm doing. And I have a time frame on how I do things. My agenda is when I come to the age of 45, probably I'm retiring from active work. I just want to do more of fulfillment. What fulfills me? Yeah, so I don't have much time left on my docket, so I have to achieve what is my goal, what's my plan, and what I'm looking at. So by the age of 45, I'm out. So I just want to stay at home, do things which are going to make me feel like I'm very productive to the community and my country as well. Okay. Yeah. So
where are you back? And where are you currently taking that community work back to?
Yeah, fortunately enough, I'm not going to disclose where I'm working right now. The reason I'm not going to disclose is because it's a job underway. Okay. Do you understand? So I don't know if I'm hired yet, if I'm not hired yet. So I'm just hanging up within the brink. You understand? But temporarily under orientation. So when that time comes, I'll just ask you to come to my office and interview me. Okay. Yes. I'm such an open person. I'll just ask you to come over. This is where I am now. I'm back into the country. But at least now you have the knowledge I'm here. Yes. You understand? I'm back to the country. That's the most key thing right now.
Okay, well, that is very subtle. Only a person that does.
It's not subtle. You're selectively using some words. No, it's not actually. I said specifically. When that time comes, I'll invite you to my office and you'll ask me those questions. But at the moment right now, it is there in and about because I'm under orientation process. Yes. I
do look forward to that. So as part of the technical working group and what you've been doing, does your work conclude now? Because I heard you mention something about handing over. Is that public knowledge?
It's not public knowledge, and because I won't say like it's something that is just like an office or anything else. No, it's just like because I'm going to elective politics, I just want to give way to other diasporians. Diasporians is such rich with people with skills, because each and every single person who is in this technical working group is a leader in their community where they come from. So they represent a certain set of people, and that they just come over here to do what? To represent their ideas or their ideology. All these people that you see, they're just like members of parliament. It's just a whole parliament which is able to move from point A to B because they represent larger communities from where they come from. Okay. Yeah.
Can I push you on elective seats?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
So you said that you're leaving this particular community leadership position to pursue elective politics. Is that in Kenya?
Yes, in Kenya. I'm running for member of parliament in my constituency, Nyaribari Masaba constituency in Kisii.
Oh.
Yeah, I know you're going to ask me why not Mombasa. So, but Kisii, that's where I hail from.
Okay.
Yes, and that's where I think the community needs me more than the diaspora. I've done so much for the diaspora. I think this is the time now I need to go back to my community and try to make some change.
Are they able to relate to you as a politician because and as a leader? Because you were here, but you left, and you see when you come back, sometimes there's usually this disconnect with diaspora returnees. When you come back to Kenya, you feel like it's still home, but are you struggling to fit in and convince these people that I still have your interest at heart?
Not at all.
Interesting. Why is that?
I swear, I promise you. If there is something, I'm very adaptive. Yeah. Let me tell you that. So today, one morning I'm going to be speaking this way, tomorrow I speak something different. If you interview me in Swahili, I can just say something different because it's just the environment that I get myself into. I'm very dynamic, and this is what I would say. The best word to use is the fact that that's a very good question actually. I'm very adapted to the system because this is what I want to do. It's my fulfillment. My fulfillment journey has started. Actually, I just kicked in too early. That's where I'm headed. So me mingling and getting along with the people is because I know what are their needs, what they need, and what they've never seen. All that I'm looking for is just a little bit shake and put some dust on it and just have something good that they've never seen. You see, I've gone everywhere in the world. I've acquired much knowledge that I have, exposure and all that. My constituency actually is one of the poorest constituencies I must tell you, unfortunately. I have to say. So what you're looking at is very simple things. It's just trying to just give some little difference, just a slight difference, at least to come close to other constituencies, because it's possible. The government has done the best that they can to do what we call like revenue allocation to each and every constituency uniformly in the country. But unfortunately, we don't have leadership. I mean, we have to agree with that. So all the leaders who have been there before, from all the way back like 30 years in the past, they've done absolutely nothing. They've done something, but it's not to the standard that is required, you see. So now, the difference that I'm going to bring here is, I just want to make sure each and every single coin that is allocated does something that's going to be seen. Yeah, because you can never tell me, people have been getting almost like 11 plus, almost like 20 billion for the last 30 years with the same constituency. But if you walk there, you ask me, these roads over here, have they been done for the last 30 years? No. No water, no nothing. There's no industrialization, nothing. We don't make anything. You understand? So it's one constituency whereby when it comes to 6 o'clock in the evening, boss, you just need to sleep. Just like chicken. You know, if you're in a community like that and you don't make anything, you will never see any life coming out of it, right? But we've been in a world whereby and we've seen things are possible the way they work. And with my background of digital marketing and branding, and it's able to revamp my constituency. And with the help of the people, because we need to listen from these people. I don't want to present myself, you see? I just want to hear these people, what they want, what actually they know better than I don't know. Do you understand? And then I'm able to put my knowledge and my exposure based on what they're giving me. And then we need to sort it out. This belongs to me, this is for the MCA, this is for the governor, so that we can just select the job that is there, the one that I'm looking for, and just focus on that and bring the difference in our constituency. Because it's possible. Okay. It is possible.
Although I'm curious.
Yes.
Why MP?
Why MP?
Yeah,
actually, it's two things. I want to do this. One is the best avenue that I need to start from, because my journey doesn't end there.
Interesting.
You understand? Yeah, and at the same time, I have an interest in representing my country at the national level. So if I become an MP, I'm able to represent my community. At the same time, I'm able to represent the diaspora. I'm able to represent the national level as well. So I'm just able to catch all the way around, because it's just representation, oversight, and legislation. Yeah, you see, like we see now, we're struggling to get even a vote from the members of parliament when you come over here to the diasporans just to vote for our bills. The diaspora can count on me if I become a member of parliament. That you will actually... Of course, 100%. And I'll fight to be in the committee for the diaspora and the community so that we can just take all our bills to go through. That's why I'm asking the diaspora to support me.
Well, that's really interesting, because we're listening to Wycliffe Mobeck, and that is a very interesting chess game being played there. I wonder what the checkmate would be for this one, but I definitely look forward to seeing how this plays out.
No worries.
No. It's quite interesting. I think when I have talked to Kenyans from the diaspora before, when they come back to Kenya, their interests are quite different. Maybe someone is doing business, or someone has just come home to retire. But it feels like you still have some fuel left in you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not coming home to retire. I'm just coming home to work. You understand? Like, I'm changing the trajectory on what I've been doing. I've been in active employment system and all that. I just want to change it a little bit to community-based work, because that's my fulfillment, actually. You understand?
The Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you've achieved everything from...
Yes, I have. Personal level and my work level, and that speaks for itself. I wish it was a record which is retractable for the people to see. I'll be more than happy. If they come to my place of work, maybe probably they can get my record straight. Yes.
Okay, so you've also mentioned something about making a difference. There has been leadership before, even in the constituency, and there has been leadership that maybe you've observed. What is the one thing or several things that you know that if we do this differently, we're actually going to make a better community for the people around you and become a leader that others can emulate?
First of all, we want to bring from 25% to 100% of what is allocated to our constituency, first of all, to get there. Let's start from there, like 100%. If the government releases money to the bursaries, releases money to projects, releases money for in here and there. And again, I want to bring the diaspora back to our community. The diaspora, 65% of the diaspora is the Kisi community. Did you know that? It's just half-half. Let me tell you that. It's the Kisi community and the Kikuyu community in the diaspora in the United States. And these diasporans, all these Kisis have run away from their constituency. Do you know why? It's not marketed enough. It's not worth for investment. We're only trying to change what we call market value for their land so that they can do investments. If they do investments, there's creation of employment. If they do employment, the constituency is going to develop further and more and more. A lot of things are just coming in here. But the same communities in the diaspora, I'm challenging them actually, the more especially the Kisi. They potentially invest in Kiambu, they potentially invest in Nanyuki, they can invest in other constituencies and in other counties, but they don't remember to invest in their own country. All they do is they run away. I don't know why, but I understand this. Personally, I've never run away. You understand? I want to invest in my community where I come from. It should start with myself. But before it gets there, we have to change the market value and the facelift of our constituency for them to know it's possible for them to invest. And I know, not all cases come from my constituency though, who are in the diaspora, but that's number one thing change. Number two, each and every single coin that is going to come out of the national coffers is going directly and bring a difference in what is happening in our constituency. That's a promise. You understand? It's just a promise. If it's for bursary, everything. We just want to change the system a little bit. I don't want people coming to my house to come and beg for their money, for the bursary. No, it's a system. I come up with some good system whereby when you're sitting in your bed with your mom and your dad and everyone else, you're able to do like, oh, school is going to open tomorrow, right? Okay. Yeah, let me see how much I have in my bursary. On your phone, the app, tap it, get it. This is what you qualify for. Just walk comfortably. Don't call me, don't do anything. The money came from the national coffers to your CDF office. And then what happens? Allocation. Don't come begging. Everything is just there. The qualification, application is just going on. Everybody's got their own. And then we have another plan that I have, which is my mantra. I really do not understand all the schools in my constituency. I'm going to say that. Maybe I can relate this to other constituencies. When it comes to the girl child, why are sanitary pads are not part of uniform?
Oh, interesting question.
Yes. Why? Because a girl spends how many sanitary pads in a month? It's a set. Yeah, there is. Right? How much is a set?
One currently, I think the cheapest goes for 65 shillings, correct me if I'm wrong. And that's on the cheap.
65 shillings, right?
And then a good one, you say maybe 90 shillings?
Right. Why can't we have that one in part of our school fees? Because each and every single time that the students are opening school, girls are given pads. That's my mantra. And we're going to come up with the way that we're going to, because I'm a digital marketing and branding, I know how we squeeze that in to make sure it's going to fit in our constituency. It's going to be the first constituency ever to have the girl child. That's part of uniform. It's part of uniform.
Oh, that's really nice. And it's a very good initiative. And I really hope it works out. I'm actually speechless because I know period poverty. I come from Baringa County myself, right. So I can relate to period poverty and just how much it costs. And to the Kenyan watching this, let me paint a picture for you about how period poverty works and just how serious this of an issue it is. Say a father goes for, we do vibarua a lot, and someone earns 250 shillings in a day. To that 250 shillings, it's income that is going to be spent that day. Say maize costs 100 bob for that particular day. Say they do milk, say they do groceries. The money is over. And we know how much a packet of unga costs, how much vegetables cost. By the time they come to the end of the day, this 250 shillings is over. Say you have 4 girls. We've just agreed that a packet of pads is 65 shillings. If they earn 250 that day and say maybe the mother does not work or maybe is taking care of the children, do you see how this could be a problem?
Yeah, it is a problem.
So if you're facing the same situation and I can see you inventing a solution, I think there's something that is going to be...
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a father of girls, so I know, I understand how it feels. So, and I understand the atrocity that they normally go through. And we don't face these challenges straight up, straight out, like just come head on, like this is how things are. You know, at times I just fail to understand. How can we even have employment in our constituencies when the schools which are in our constituencies don't even think beyond the board for them to create employment? Like let's say for instance, why would a school which is with like 500 students going to buy school uniforms from the nearest shopping center which belongs to a school principal? When the school principal can come up with a plan, sit down the marketing and branding team and all that, just come up with the material and say like how many students we have in the school and how much uniform is going to cost and all that. Just come with the very good markups and all that. Just make sure we spread this over the year and have like it's 150 shillings or 500 shillings, whatever amount of money, which is spread within the uniform, which comes with the bursary and everything else. And then go to somewhere, source up with a place with material and fabric manufacturers, bring this to the school, have all the students taken measurements, and the school can employ people to do what? We have a specific staff member who are there, their work is tailoring, and by that is going to help the people who are coming from the technical vocational colleges from there to employ the people. So where are we going to look for the jobs from? When the jobs are already there, we don't want to think and expand our brains on how we can work on them. You know, it's very simple things that can easily just open up the constituency and all that. Jobs are not going anywhere. Jobs are just right there. It's not that a little bit, as I told you, we need to change, make a difference on how we look at things a little bit. You understand? With the right mindset and all that, people to listen. And just say like, how can we do it? Sit down with all these school principals and tell them, hey, yo, listen, if you guys are going to get this and this and this, these are conditions that we're going to put in place. You understand? All students, we have 500 students in this school, okay? How much is uniform? How much is fabric? All the tailors, sit down here. Let's just do the calculations. So that we can have proper uniform for all students. So that the parents don't have to go rushing somewhere else, go to get uniform when schools are opening and they're there. Now these things can just swim into the system in a very progressive manner, and at the end of the day, it's going to be the policy. And number two, by doing that, do you know how many people that you've employed? Because we'll be having permanent employees who are doing this, who have come from vocational colleges. So that makes sense again. It's just recycling yourself by within what we have in our community. Okay. You understand? Yeah.
That's quite a plan, and we will go back to it, and I do hope that we can find even time to have this as a side conversation, because I think you're very passionate about politics, and that will spiral into another interview. But I must ask.
You have to say something specific there. I'm so passionate about clean politics. You understand? I don't want this nonsense of politics, like people are just politicking for nonsense, things don't make sense. Yeah. Just face things straight. Like, let's be very honest to facts. Like, this one is working, this one doesn't work. You understand? That's my mantra. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to be in the politics of just mimicking people, making people feel funny or the la 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 la. No, I don't want to do that kind of nonsense. The thing is, let's sit down. Did you do this? No, you didn't do it. And if I'm a member of parliament, for instance, let me just tell you this honestly. I give you a job to do, don't do it, yeah, you're going to fight. It's very simple. Like, I do not want to fail. I'm afraid of failure. You understand? And with my age, legendary is very important to me. Okay. My legacy. Mm-hmm. That's what I said, legendary is very important. It's just like in my skin. I've never failed in anywhere that I've been in before, so I don't want to fail anywhere.
So it's not going to start with
no.
County. So do you have a leader in Kenya that you look up to?
I don't look up anyone, I look at myself.
Wow, okay, that's okay. Which brings me to my next question.
Yes.
A big part of the voting population, even as you aspire, is going to be young people. We're currently being called Gen Z. I don't know if that's a term that you are inclined to adopt, and how do you bring these people to be part of your vision?
You know, the world is moving very fast. Mm-hmm. And this is what you call demographic understanding of systems, how things work. Mm-hmm. You understand? You know, our parents think different the way we think from our children. You understand? If today I told my daughter I want to buy a land, he'd be laughing at me. He'd be like, Dad, what's for? I don't need that. They think different. First of all, the Gen Z is one of the most lucrative category of people. When you understand them, when you really get to understand what they mean or what they want, is the easiest lot to work with. The only problem they don't want to get to this this other, how do you call it? The one which is after the millennials, is because they cannot relate in one way or the other at all. Period. You understand? So because they want this, they are slow, they don't want to accept they are slow. Life is moving so fast. Yeah?
Okay.
A Gen Z doesn't want to go to a bar. Do you find them in bars? No. They don't go to bars. They just want to have booze in their houses and have fun in their own houses. Understand what they like most and where they can easily be productive most. First of all, if you understand that from that area, anything else just will kick in by itself. But by fighting them, making them feel less, trying to think like, they don't want acknowledgement from you because they don't feel like you, they just want you to listen to them, understand what they want. Yes.
Okay, so of course there is a lot of backlash currently because we had a protest in Kenya today.
Yes.
And there is a lot that was going on. Of course, the political temperature of the country is a bit high. So how are you handling that as a person, as a leader?
Let me tell you, at times it's very useless when people try to make us feel in their own shoes when we're not interested. Don't force us to be in your own mistakes. We don't want to be responsible for your own mischief at your place of work. You understand? If you work for a very long time and then you just get killed at the door. You know, there's a book that I read in school, known as A Man of the People. Odilo Samalu's in some page there, I think in paragraph something 4-5 there about. I remember it's some chapter somewhere. He said something. If a leader, okay, you take care of yourself for the longest time and you get killed at the last minute, you must have wasted your care. Just like what is happening right now here with our former DIG, right? Do you know, you ask your question just from the back door. Let me just bring you straight. Whatever that is happening here is what the DIG did. You understand? And people don't want to take responsibility for some things. When you lack responsibility, accountability, and all these kind of things, what's going to happen? Havoc, straight up. Okay? When a havoc comes, there are people who benefit, there are people who don't benefit. You know, havoc is part of business. You understand that? Sure. When chaos are there, some people benefit, some don't. Some suffer. So the DAG should have taken responsibility for whatever that happened, okay? But now he wants to dodge around everyone else, oh, this, bring this, change this, do this, do this. Yo, the story is very simple. Someone is dead, okay?
What do we do about it?
This responsibility has to lay on someone, yes, okay? Stop dragging everyone into it. Stop making people to be responsible on your own mischief. It's very simple. Yeah, you see now, we're causing more deaths on death. You understand? One life lost is life too much.
Life too many.
It's life too many, honestly. So for how long is it going to happen? So, and again, we cannot, this is what we call dirty politics. And again, it's in our system. It's affecting our value system and how we look at ourselves in the country and by and large. These things have to be looked into. We have to change it. The Gen Z are going to change it, whether you like it or not. This is a revolution. So if as old as you are, get out as soon as possible. Because these people are going to kick you out. They're going to drive you out of town. They're going to make your life so difficult. They're not going to make you use your computer. They're going to hack it. They're going to make your life so hard. Okay? And if this thing just gets into each and every single organization in the country, what's going to happen? We'll never have a country anymore. At least let's manage the country when it's manageable. By killing people, we'll never manage the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. We are coming to the end because this is a conversation you cannot end. I believe you're quite passionate about speaking and about people, which means this story does not have to end here. It has to continue in other social media platforms. Thank you very much for your time. This has been Wycliffe Mobeck, Mogaka. He says that the name Mogaka is very, very important.
Yes, that's my origin.
Introduction.
Yes.
So he comes from Kisii.
Nyaribari Masaba constituency.
Nyaribari Masaba.
And we are changing it to NM7. Nyaribari, it's N, Masaba 7.
So
NM7.
NM7.
That's the power of digital branding and marketing, actually. So, yeah.
His main goal and what he intends to achieve in Nyamariba constituency.
No. Nyaribari. Just say this, NM7.
NM7.
Thank you.
Let me write that down.
Yes.
What he aims to achieve in NM7 is to make sure that it's rebranded in a way that makes it lucrative to investors who are Kenyans that have gone outside there, they have found greener pastures, but they need a way and they need a system to channel it back home. That's his vision, and we will be following this story to see how it comes to fruition. All the best in your aspirations, and I can't wait to see how a clean politician looks.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to tell the Kenyans in the diaspora, all the cases who come from our constituency, come back home. Yeah, invest in your constituency. Stop investing in Kitengela, Rongai, and everywhere else, Nanyuki, Chakaranch. Right now, it's just marginalization to our constituency. There's nothing wrong with that. Come home. We're going to make that constituency what you've never seen before. Yes. So
it's been me, Maria Njoroge, and this has been our session today. I look forward to seeing you in our next turn. Follow us in all our social media platforms, the Kenya Diaspora Media on X, on TikTok, Facebook, and this will be uploaded on YouTube. Comment and interact with us. Thank you. See you next time. Kwaheri. Tell them goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good night.
Hi, Kwaheri.
All right.